Now, talking about heating things up, this is where the heat starts coming to the top, because we do have the Premier Expert class, and this might as well be a preview of what the singles class can look at AFT, because we've got the stars of AFT stacked up this line with a couple twins riders thrown in there.
Absolutely, and we need to put a note, Jenny. We need to find Gary Boyle later tonight to see how the eyes are doing. If you can catch him before his next set of heat races later tonight, I'd like to get an interview there and see what the mind thought was. But there is Smokin' Joe Kopp coming back from accidentally getting knocked down. Him and Taryn Santero. Taryn gave him a little love tap and it sent Joe down. But we've got our pole sitter, 21, Trevor Bruner, the 3X of Joe Kopp, 91 of Justin Jones. Chad Coast, number 49, having an excellent weekend here. The 83 of Brandon Fanders, 131 of Evan Kelleher with a breakout ride last year. The 48, Trent Lowe, 20, Jared Vanderkoy, 88, Chase Sadoff. Showtime Shelton with an amazing LCQ to make it in, the only amateur rider to be in this race today. Tyler Raggio, number 55, and Evan Renshaw, number 65. We have 11 AFT riders. And Joe Kopp, I guess, we'll consider him an AFT rider.
Absolutely. He's made his mark enough in that sport that...
I think he's got a few AFT wins.
Yeah, we'll give him that spot on there.
He's actually the only AFT Grand National champion out there, because Briar Bauman, unfortunately, didn't make it.
This is true, so... We do have a Grand National champion lining up in this Premier Expert class at the winner Throwdown.
Chad and Joe are a little bit close there, and we'll see how this. Joe's got the handguards on, so he's ready for a little bumping and banging, and there we go. Joe Kopp gets a good start, but Trevor Bruner will lock it down on everybody. It ends up being Joe Kopp running in second place there, and Justin Jones nudges up the inside. Chad Coast takes third. We do have Tyler Raggio down coming out of 2, and we will probably go red here. He is stuck under the bike.
The Ducelator brothers did what they can to make it do, but there was not much they could do in that situation. Roger was stuck. Yeah.
And we had to go red there on that one. Let's see exactly what happens to Tyler. He's in the back end of this field, running around in 10th place right now. Ends up just... he gets a little sideways, ends up getting caught up on... I'm not exactly sure who that was. Jared Vanderkoy, I think that might have been. Yeah, he ends up tagging the back of Jared Vanderkoy and just nowhere to go.
Yeah, and it's just loose enough that he just had to... The bad part is he got his foot caught underneath it. We couldn't get back underneath it.
Yeah, here we go again with Chad and Joe taking each other's spot. Joe wants the groove. He knows about how important this start is, and he actually just ended up losing the position to Chad down that back straightaway, so Joe knows, hey, I'm not letting that happen again. And Chad?
These two go back and forth. Chad's like, he needs to move over. This is my spot.
I hated this.
This is where I'm at.
Yeah.
Are we going to get some elbow flapping like we saw from last night from Trent and Dan?
I got the fan. Someone's getting into it, but... Yeah, I mean, fortunately, Joe Kopp did have second pick, so rightfully Chad Coast should move over. He had fourth pick. I know he might not want that to happen, but that's the way, the heat race is lined up. Joe's heat race was a faster time than Chad Coast, and that's one thing where you got to push all the way to the end.
And these guys want the best opportunity. Chad just wants the shot to get to the front.
And Chad just needs to calm down a little bit here. He can't let this ruin his race.
No, he's had such a good weekend. Keeping his composure, trying to get off the line. We'll see where we go.
Man, there's a lot of screaming going on.
There is.
I guess this shows how important this is to everybody.
That's it. And Joe, they're going to move Joe down, get moved down a little bit.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see the conversation after the race.
Would it be something if Chad Coast was able to just grab that whole shot from the outside anyways? Didn't even need it.
We're going to see how this plays out, see if it was worth it.
Got a wheel on it. And here we go. Chad Coast does get a really good jump, and he grabs that whole shot.
Well, the complaining and making Joe move down a little bit is beneficial. Now we'll see if that adrenaline has Chad fired up there, carries through for a win in this Premier Expert class. Oh, open the door up a little bit. Who is that? Is that
Trevor Bruner out there with Justin Jones in third. Trevor Bruner is not the guy that I want behind me on the AFT single, but Chad Coast is able to keep it going. He grabs one bike length lead. Man, you got to make that extended when you have a guy like Trevor Bruner right behind you.
And Trevor Bruner can't leave too much door open because he's got Justin Jones right behind him. And Justin Jones, if he gets underneath you, he will move you. So right now, Chad Coast at point, trying to hold that leather line. Trevor Bruner knocking on his door with Justin Jones. A little dirt on his back from earlier in the night. Put it in there in the third spot. But there's no room behind that because he does have company of number 83, the super rookie from last year, Braden Fanders, in 4th place. So
Trevor Bruner working to square up. Yeah, Trevor Bruner working to square up Chad Coast there. And like you said, a guy with a dirt stain like that on the back is willing to do anything to go to the front. But Trevor Bruner trying to get creative on Chad Coast. Chad Coast doing a perfect job holding down the line, opening up his entry a little bit there, but there's no room for Trevor Bruner to make the move yet. We're about halfway through this race.
We're going to see how aggressive he gets. This is short track racing, and Trevor Bruner's not afraid to put a wheel in. Chad Coase knows how to hold line, but if you get some pressure underneath you, there's not much you can do, and they'll leave you right out of the way. Trevor is waiting for Chad to make a mistake, and Chad has not made one yet.
Yeah, and Justin Jones was trying to go for a move there up the inside of Trevor Bruner, ended up losing the front a little bit, didn't quite have the pass away to back out of it. We have an amazing battle going here for the lead between Chad Coase and Trevor Bruner. Trevor is waiting for anything for Chad to bobble up. Trevor grabs his leg there on something, doesn't affect him at all.
And here he comes down. Oh, he gets a little sideways on the inside berm. Going to have to regroup, come back together. The good part about that is he had opened up enough gap over Jones. Jones could not capitalize, but it does give Chad Coase a little bit of breathing room.
Yeah, you should be able to run him down here pretty quickly just because he's had so much pace, and Chad might be riding a little bit defensive. That move there about him spinning around backwards, he did that same thing at Oklahoma Mile a few years ago. Very, very crazy incident, but he is right back on the wheel of Chad Coase and trying to do something here. He had that thing turned so well off of 4, but unfortunately just lost a little bit of traction.
Yeah, no, he's trying every part of this track he can get. And we got some action go back. 3rd place has got Braden Fanders moving up to 3rd. Can Braden now come up and put pressure? If these two racers get
Chad Coase loses the front end. Trevor Bruner ends up running into the side of him, but that is it. That is the race right there. Chad almost throws it away on the last lap, but he's able to come out victorious.
Wow.
Sorry about cutting over you. That was just action right there.
No, and that race was so good. I'll admit, I lost track of laps.
Yeah, watch Chad. So his front end just goes under a little bit here. His leg's up pretty far. He loses the front. That gives Trevor just enough room, and Trevor elects to back out of it and unfortunately not knock down Chad Coase, and Chad Coase will come away with the victory.
And look at Fanders. Fanders saw an opportunity. If those two would have come together, Fanders could have been in the catbird seat and taken the win. With that said, skilled riders stayed on their wheels. Chad Coase, just a stellar weekend here at the Throwdown. You got to be happy for him and the First Impressions race team.
Yeah, what a good main event. That was fun. That was a lot of fun. And that shows that, you know, it's not the easiest track to pass on. You have to get creative when you're in that professional class because they are all going so fast and they're all going for the same exact line. So, yes, you can make some passes, but you're going to have to do it perfectly executed.
And you saw Chad fighting for that spot on the line, and you saw the value that it had. Him getting a little bit more room. Joe Kopp moving down gave him enough to get to that first turn first. He commanded that race from the drop of the green flag.